We are going to do a plank for a full minute. So let's bring your hands on the mat, spread the fingers with the middle fingers forward. If that feels like it's too much for the wrists, you could stay on your fists or you could go down on your forearms as well. So please modify as much as you need to. Step with one foot to the back from whichever position you are choosing to be on the forearms or the fists or your hands. Push the floor away from you and then step with the other foot all the way to the back. I'll ask you to walk your feet towards each other and feel like there is a string on your heels pulling your heels back and another string on the crown of the head pulling you all the way forward. So you want to have a sensation of lengthening that body in those opposite directions. Stay with your feet together and we'll start with the full minute. Open up your feet to the side and then bring your feet together. And we open, walking out and then in. Imagine that you have a glass of water on your back so you don't want to spill the water. Keep pulling the belly away from the t-shirt and keep pushing the floor away from you. If it's getting too much on your wrists, you can stay on your fists, you can go down on your forearms, and we are already halfway there. So feel like you can modify. You don't have to stay in one position. Inhaling and exhaling. And you're walking your feet in and out. Find a rhythm that it feels good for the body. Keep pushing that floor away from you. And keep looking at the space just in between your hands. Last 10 seconds. And we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly lower your knees down to the mat. Great job. Start with your knees hip distance apart. Curl your toes underneath you. And then lower your hands just under the shoulders. Please spread your fingers with the middle fingers pointing forward. Try not to rest your hands on the mat, but have a sensation of pushing the mat away from you. So as you push that mat all the way down to the floor, you should have a sensation of your spine lifting a little bit higher than your back. Now pull your abdominals all the way in and up. So feel like you want to pull the belly away from your t-shirt and then slide your right foot to the back. Slide your left hand forward. Imagine that you have a cup of coffee on your back, so you don't want to spill that coffee. And then raise your arm and your leg in the same time, ideally. Keep reaching away from the center of the body. Imagine that you have a string attached on your hamstrings that all the way up to the ceiling that lifts you all the way up. I'm pulling your arm and leg away from each other. Then simultaneously open that right leg to the right, left arm to the left, as far as it can go. Go a little bit farther and then come back to the center. Let's go for 9 more. There's no movement in your body, just the leg and the arm reaching away. And then you inhale to open, exhale to center. And we have 4, powerful exhalation. And 5, stay as still as possible. And then 6, last 4 of those. Keep pushing that floor away from you. And then reach. Squeeze your abs and that will help you to keep that body a little bit more still. Last 2. 1 more. Come back to the center and then lower your hand and then the knee. Keep pushing that floor away. Maybe you could lift your spine a little bit higher. Slide your foot and your hand away from each other. Lift them up in the air. Imagine that there is a string attached to that hamstring that lifts it all the way up. Stretch away from the center of the body. And now open to the side for 10. And come back. Last 9. And come back. Last 8. Squeeze your abs. And 7. If you feel like your leg is falling down, keep lifting it up a little bit higher for 6. And then 5. Last 4. Reach and center. Last 3. And center. Last 2. Center. 1 more. Center and then come back. Great job. Sit down somewhere where it feels comfortable. It could be on a couch, on a chair. If you're sitting on the floor, you can use a little bit of prop to lift your bum a little bit higher if that's more comfortable. Stretch one leg out and bring the other leg on top of your thigh. Then bring your opposite hand against your opposite foot. So this is my right foot and my left hand. And I want you to just interlock your fingers with your toes. Slide the fingers just in between your toes. Press the fingers into the base of your toes, hold on to your ankle, and imagine that your toes have paintbrushes, and start drawing teeny tiny circles, very small circles, one direction, and then those circles become slightly bigger and bigger, so it's a little bit like a spiral motion, and make them a little bit bigger and bigger, and invite your midfoot, invite the lower foot, invite your heel, your ankle, into those big circles, up and around, and even go for a full range, how big those circles can be, and then reverse them. Start with those teeny tiny circles, just from the tip of your toes. Then the whole toe is drawing a circle. Then you're inviting the knuckles of your toes, the upper arch, the middle arch, the lower arch, the heel, and then the whole foot is drawing those big circles up and around. And see if you could bring your fingers all the way to the base of your toe. So that's the goal. Sometimes one foot can feel a little bit tighter. It might not allow you to bring your fingers there, but that's the goal. And then slowly release, spread the fingers and stretch that leg. Take a moment to compare those 2 feet. I don't know if you can see the difference, but the foot that we just worked has completely different color, so there's so much more circulation over there. The toes feel longer, they feel stretchier, and it feels so much wider. It looks more relaxed as well. I bet you can see the same difference in your feet as well. Let's switch your feet. Bring the other foot across and then slide your fingers in between your toes. And you might notice that one foot is tighter than the other. That's very normal. Try to slide the fingers as low as they allow you to go. Then bring your other hand on your ankle and start drawing those teeny tiny circles with the tip of your toes. One direction, then invite your toes. And then the knuckles of your toes, your upper arch, middle arch, your lower arch, the heel, the whole foot. And it's a big spiral, so that circle gets bigger and bigger. Go for a full range if it feels good. Up and around. And reverse those circles. Start with those teeny tiny circles. There's 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles, ligaments, and tendons in that foot. And that's where all the nerve endings are. So we want to make sure that we can stimulate that sole of the foot. We want to feel the feet. We want to feel the ground with our feet. And then make those circles as big as you can. And release, and then relax that foot. And they should just feel better. And they keep you upright in such a better alignment.